happy to present our speaker, Kristiyan Velkov. He is a seasoned software developer, technical leader, Docker captain, tech book author, tech blogger, mentor, speaker, and educator with over 10 years of expertise in frontend and open source technologies. He has conducted more than 350 technical interviews, authored I think now there are 3 books, and holds more than 100 professional certificates. Kristiyan is recognized for his contributions to the developer community through open source projects, educational content, and public speaking. His leadership and mentoring continue to empower developers worldwide. And actually, Kristiyan is back from his Docker Captain Summit in Istanbul, if I'm not wrong. Kristiyan, it's an honor to have you with us today. The stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, you are not mistaken. I have been in Istanbul for Docker Captains event, which is a highly recognizable event grouping all of the captains who deliver a lot of work for Docker, and it was amazing. I met so much people there. I connect with different backgrounds of people like AI, backend, frontend, different kind of communities. But also, since we are start talking about LinkedIn today, I want to mention something. So the topic today will be very important for everyone because this is the face of you in the online environment. Basically, everyone, when you met someone, usually they will ask you for LinkedIn. So today I will try to share tips and tricks, also what I learned by mistakes, and I will try to help you to build better profile in LinkedIn. And let's begin. I will share my presentation right now. And here we are. Could you please tell me, do you see my screen?
Yes, but yes, we see.
You should see the presentation right now. Yes, so today's topic is very, again, important. I really love to speak about content because like author of the books and also blog author, I want to try to see how we can gain more popularity in our social medias. And usually what I'm using most is LinkedIn. So let me give you some ideas, examples, what the good profile should look like and how to make your profile really outstanding. So agenda for today will be short. Absolutely little intro about me. Later on, we will go to why your LinkedIn profile matters. The third point will be the power of strong profile. Later on, we'll go in deep, not just talking about concepts, but also to try to improve directly the profile in this meeting. In the end, my goal will be, based on my advices, to improve your profile and also to gain more popularity. Here in KA profile sections to perfect, I will spot some mistakes, which a lot of people doing, to be honest. And also I will share some strategies for growing your community and what you should be aware when you share some posts. In the end, of course, you'll have a Q&A session where you can ask any kind of questions related to LinkedIn. So, a little introduction, Docker Captain, tech blogger, front-end advocate, and speaker. What I love to do is basically support the community, because when I started, it was really hard for me. So I decide to support and also help as much people as I can based on my experience. I'm passionate about AI, front-end, back-end, DevOps. Usually you can find me in Medium, also LinkedIn, and also my newsletter, Front-End World, where I share daily different content, and also weekly I will send you an email with different topics related to front-end or DevOps, and we allow you to stay up to date to the new technologies and trends. So my books, already 3 books I wrote on by me. The second one is just for middle and senior developers. It's based on my experience doing technical interviews. I did more than 350 interviews, and I decide, okay, I have a lot of experience. I know what to look to the people. I know what questions to ask. Let's help them to grow and find better jobs. So that reason, I first of all create React.js interview from zero to hero, which is only for junior middle developers, because my idea it was not to try to create a book for everyone. Since for me, for example, when I open some book, I skip half of it, and it seems like I was scammed because half of the book is not interesting for me. So I decided to divide the content in different parts, just for juniors and just for middle seniors and principals, and to group the content itself. So for example, in the first book, you will find what is, let's say, GSX, what is React DOM, different main concepts, which was really important for the beginners. And later on, I decided to grow up this idea of interview. I'm speaking about the second book, which is for middle senior developers. And based on my experience, I provide information about security, web accessibility, micro front-end, topics which are not well understood and also required in interview. For example, I dig deep in DevOps part, which nowadays is very, very popular. And my first book, TypeScript Core Utility Types, is basically my concept about utility types in TypeScript. And unfortunately, documentation is not so good. You will see that it's just 1 page, and my book is 600 pages. So deep. I really go deep to this topic because I was curious. And I want to provide you a promo code. If you decide to buy some of my books, you go to my website, you can use this promo code and buy it with discount 30%. But enough about me. Let's talk to the topic. So why really LinkedIn is so important nowadays? Why? Shortly, because everyone is in LinkedIn. If you search for job, if you want to apply to another company, if you want to follow someone, probably they will be in LinkedIn. Okay. Let's talk about a few things when we talk about first impression. First impression is very important. It's basically telling the people who you are. And if your profile is not good enough to be visible, first of all, you have a lot of issues with search engines, later on with crawlers, which help basically the HR agencies to search for profiles, and later on will be bad for you because you will not be spotted like a good candidate for a specific role. So you will miss a lot of opportunities. Also, you will miss opportunity to grow your network, to see what other people doing, and also you will miss opportunity to create your personal brand, which is really important nowadays, because if you have a brand, people will connect it with, and later on will be easy for you to grow content, to share your opinion, and also to be really visible in our networks. Okay. So what is the power of strong profile in LinkedIn? Again, few things which is very important. LinkedIn, rather than other platforms like X or Facebook or Instagram and many more, it's created just for work. It's not something which it's considered good to share, for example, information about your personal life. You're going there because you know that you'll find something related to your work, or people will try to reach you out just because of that topic. So first of all, imagine someone who has a very good profile and someone who the profile is really bad. Of course, first impression, as we spoke, it's very important. So people will try to contact the person who put some effort. and try to build good profile. Think of your profile like your visit card. So if, for example, applying for an interview or applying for some job, you go there and people ask, do you have a CV? Or do you have any kind of documents? And you was like, I don't care. So chances to be accepted is very, very low. Same is the case with LinkedIn. If HR is going to your profile, they see that you don't update it regularly, you don't care about it, they will think that you don't care about switching the job itself or you don't want to be visible, which is not bad. But since nowadays everyone is interacting with you online, better to have a good profile. Okay, let's talk about what we can improve. Let's start about first thing. So profile photo. Profile photo, I saw many photos. Of course, mine, I don't pretend that I'm the great person creating profile photos because it's just hard. What usually is good idea is to be yourself, to smile, and also to not put selfies or other people, and also the picture itself to be not in the way which is good for presenting you in office atmosphere, let's say. So when we're talking about pictures or profile pictures, just keep in mind, be yourself, stand in front, don't try to get selfies, don't be with many people because people trying to look your profile, not your group profile. And okay, here are a few things about headline. So when we're talking about headline, it's very important to mention something which many people did a very huge mistake. And that is the headline is basically second thing which people usually look. They look your picture, later on probably your name, and the second or the third most important part is headline. Headline is telling to the people who you are, what you're doing, how you're doing, what basically you know. So if you don't have a good headline, for example, or your headline is very short in a way that I will give an example, of course, with Frontend because it's close to me. Imagine if my headline, it was just Frontend developer. Nowadays, we have a lot of tools and a lot of options to write Frontend. So how the HRs will know that I'm a Vue Frontend developer or React Frontend developer? Or just imagine that I'm a senior role Frontend developer. But since I put Frontend developer, what is catchy here is that the search, or basically the in LinkedIn is created in two variations, let's say, to be simple. One is for users, another is for recruiters. So recruiters are scanning. They have options to set up filters. Based on these filters, you will appear in the list or not. So usually what we're doing when we try to hire someone or specific profile, it's going to the LinkedIn, we set specific filters. For example, I'm searching for senior front-end developer. And since you are put your headline to be front-end developer, you will appear very bottom on the list and probably no one will contact you. So good headlines are really important. So let's give you example also of about section. Many people think that about section is kind of place where people have a lot of time to go and search and treat your passion about your role and etc. So quick advice here. Try to be as much as possible clear. Also, usually people spend maximum 2 to 3 seconds in your profile. So if you try to put any kind of poem or anything related to your job, which is I'm a so passionate developer, and etc., this will basically not working for you. People don't spend time looking on about sections. So what is important? It's important to spot your topics and also to tell people okay, I'm good on that. If you want to reach with me and to work with me, this is topics. As you can see, the first left section, it's mine about section. Of course, can be improved. For example, here I say that I put a lot of emojis, which is not so considered good for the models, but it's visible that I have a lot of experience in front-end. I'm a front-end developer, software developer, and also I have a lot of experience with all of the technologies related. I have many certificates, and people usually saw my content on LinkedIn and also Medium and my newsletter. Shortly, the most important part of me. And look the right part at about section. So just imagine, put yourself to position of some recruiter, and you are going and open to these profiles. This guy in right, I don't know who it is, but we can presume that he has 20 years of experience, not 10, 20 years of experience. He is very passionate, he knows a lot of things, creator of React, blah, blah, blah. But who knows him? How to know that he is creator of React or he is create something else? Okay, I saw many people, they don't want to be visible, let's say, which is not bad if you don't search for reaching people or trying to be, let's say, in the dark, in the shadow, and you want to see profiles, but they don't want to interact with you. So, that being said, let's continue to experience. So, let's look again one profile, mine in left, and also in right you have some random profile. So, okay, as you can see, I spot first of all where I work, what I'm doing, and what are my responsibilities. And you can see that this mention of what I'm doing is telling also what I can do in future. So it's very important to specify in your profiles what you did in your specific role. Again, be short, but in a way that is giving information to recruiters that they will understand. Okay, this guy is Docker captain. He's contributing a lot in, let's say, community. He creates some documentation. In his role, he's doing that and that. So try to be more polite in a way that specify the specifics in your role, which will tell later on in recruiters that I'm doing that, I'm good in that. So for that reason, experience is very important. Also, don't put irrelevant experience. As I said before, when I start my career, I was working different jobs like bartender and lifeguard, and yeah, first mistake which I did when I was starting my career in IT, it was to spot basically that I was a bartender. But question is how this is related to job what I'm doing right now. So it's not. And please remove the information which is not valid for your current specific experience and role. Why? Just because people don't have time to look everything. Usually we think that our profile is good, people will go, we will read, we will interested about that, but this is not the case. It took just 2 to 3 seconds to scan your profile and people to decide, do they want to go deep or not? Okay, continue. So, nice. 2 very good things which you can do like developer in LinkedIn is that first of all, if you have any kind of certifications, please mention them. It's very, very important to mention your certificates because nowadays many companies looking on them like opportunity to hire good developer. Again, I have many friends, they will argue that the certification are not so important. Different variations of opinions. I'm not against or not, but what the certificate is telling to someone is that this guy or this lady put some effort in some specific period of time. It's not meaning you know everything, but it's meaning you put effort. And this is very noticeable. Why I'm telling that? Because usually when we do some technical interview and we want to decide who will be fitting better to our specific job, we are looking pretty much everything. And if the person has a lot of certificates or trying to do different things, this will be good. This can be considered like a plus. And second thing, it's your projects. So your project is not about the recruiters. They don't understand code. So usually what they do is going to your profile, seeing your information, seeing your headline, looking for your about section, seeing that you have such kind of experience. And later on, they forgot about this specific section projects, but they are looking very, very, very deep the certification. So put attention on certification. If you have side projects like open source and etc., this is very good for you. But this is on step when someone like me, for example, if I'm doing the technical interview, I will go to your profile and see that, okay, you have some information or you specify your GitHub profile. Later on, I will go and see what you did, why you did it, and this will help you to find better job. Okay. So that being said, let's continue to some strategies to growing your community. First of all, and very important, it's the goal of your profile. When you think on your profile, think like, I try to be as much as possible good on that what I'm doing, and also I want to present it to the people outside in the best way. So put your goals very strictly. Don't try to, what I saw usually in Bulgaria is that people are trying to speak about different topics like politics, like economy, or trying to speak about tech and etc. So what you're telling to your community is that you understand pretty much everything, you will be everything, but when you try to share the content which is really relevant and important, no one will listen. So set clear goals. Also, second part, know your audience, which is meaning, back then when I was trying to grow my community, what I was doing is adding as much as possible I have opportunity to, which is meaning I added not relevant at all people, which after, let's say, 10 years, I trying again and again and again each year to remove just because they're not relevant to topics which I'm interested in. What is meaning that? Try to add people who are in your specific group of work. Like, for example, in my area, I'm doing tech, so I will add front-end developers, principals, architects, people creating open source projects, but we will not add, for example, let's say, marketing people. Not because it's bad, of course you can add everyone, but just because we have limits. And we will talk about that later on when I share my profile. So, posting. Second most important part after you decide that my profile will be for this reason and I will search for this audience, it's to set your target posts, which is meaning that usually algorithm in LinkedIn is working very good if you're trying to post each week. So if you're trying to post regularly, weekly, you will appear in more results. But if you're posting just for, let's say, 1 week and later on the second post is after 1 year, how you expect someone to see you? So that being said, we have different strategies to improve the posting itself, and I will share with you some of them like a demo. So how to beat the algorithm? You can see that people talking about algorithms, talking about strategies, they're talking about different, let's say, ways to interact with the community and how basically to be visible. When talking about beating something, beating the algorithm in LinkedIn, we're talking how to be more visible. First thing, never ever put the links to your posts. You see that I'm doing that regularly, but I have a strategy and we will show and explain with you what I'm doing. Second, hashtags are very, very important. Hashtags is telling to algorithm, this is specific category of people I'm looking for. So for example, imagine that I have 30K followers. Some of them are, let's say, front-end developers, other back-end developers, so we have a DevOps guys. So if I want to target specific audience, usually what I'm doing is specify very good hashtags, which is like a category. Think of them like a category, which will help me to reach specific people. Also, keep in mind that if you try to do a really huge post, usually people are seeing just small amount of it. So the first part is very, very important. The first part is telling to people, okay, if you want to look and to be interested more about the topic, click on it. So don't try to be how to say, to try to explain everything in depth in the first sentence. The first sentence, think it like the headline of your posts, not the post itself, the headline. And here, for example, you can connect me, and now is the time to look my profile and to see what I did, why I'm doing it like that, to ask some questions and to help you to improve. I'll give you some time just to scan and find me in LinkedIn.
Kristiyan,
And probably
I think there is an issue with the QR code because it's not accessible.
Let's do so. I will share directly the link to the profile in the chat. Here we are. Yes. So, nice. Let's talk about my profile. I will zoom a little bit. And could you please tell me, do you see the profile good?
We do.
Perfect, perfect. So, okay. Again, when you open the LinkedIn profile, what you see usually is the picture. So I put this picture. I'm not telling that is the perfect picture, but this is the best which I can do. Usually, if you want to have a very good pictures, the white it should be professional, and also everything should be in a way that it's created. Probably you see some people, they paid a lot of money just to have a good profile pictures. I'm not doing that. So yeah, this is picture which I put. It's not bad, it's not good, but it's not terrible. So my headline right now is just a promotion of the book which I wrote before 2 weeks. And for that reason, this headline is spotting the book itself. So people what are doing is going to the picture, going to the headline, this specific banner, and later on they will go to see this specific information. So as you can see, I try to be as much as possible in a way to explain to the people what I'm doing in keywords. So first of all, front-end advocate, speaker, AI DevOps enthusiast, Docker captain, tech blogger, book author, and blah, blah, blah. So this is telling to the people, okay, this is the topics which I'm interested for. I'm doing that. It's my job. Later on, what we have is your website. You can set specific website or information for you, so people will go and find you there. And the second part, also see my followers. So I have 30K followers, and this unfortunately is the limit of the free account. So if you want to have more connections rather than 30K, you should pay LinkedIn, and I don't want to pay. So for me, 30K it's enough for now. I will consider to grow my brand probably, but unfortunately, LinkedIn, if you don't have any kind of subscriptions or you are not organization, it's a little bit expensive. So going back, here, a lot of people don't consider this at all. But usually it's very good to spot it, to try to understand it, and to try to interact with analytics, because this is the result LinkedIn put you, and you understand how good you present in the LinkedIn itself, in the space. So as you can see, more than 1,000 people already see my profile. I reach for the past 7 days 20,000 impressions, which is how many people see the specific posts, and also in how many searches I appear. Usually what I advise people is that go to these results. This is free analytic. It's not need to pay anything. And this is telling you exactly how good you are. For example, as you can see, I'm down 20% of post impressions, but I'm up with followers and etc. So based on that, you will see information which post is considered good, which not, where you appear, and information which will be helping you later on in the future in your pod to try to stay up to date and also to improve your profile. Going back, about section. As you can see, the about section is very, very small. So if people want to see more, they should click see more. And usually, if someone is impressed about your profile, about the heading, they will do exactly that and they will click. And this information will appear. So this is a way how I present information in structured way, which is best for searching and algorithms. And also this is telling how many years of experience I have. So it's not needed to guess or to share the CV. LinkedIn nowadays is your CV. So try to put information very specific, very detailed, short. Okay, going back. Okay, this is services. So I will not talk about that. It's not so important in our case, but the second section is very, very important. And many people don't use it at all. This is the featured section. This is your way to tell to the people what is important right now for you. So, for example, if I click plus here, I can add a different content exactly. So for me right now, it's the topic which I'm following is my book. So I put it in first place. Second, it's the journey I have with Docker. And second and third is basically today's event. So people when open my profile, they will see this information, they will scroll to here and they will see, okay, okay, he has some books, traveling to Docker, probably it's a Docker captain or that. And here we were talking about this conference. So imagine, I love this example to give to the people. This is the place where you control the things, and this is the place where you can share with the people what is important and what to be seen. Okay, continue to activity. So this will tell you what you did in past days. So for example, how many followers you have, what is your posts, what comments do you have, videos, do you have newsletters and information. So this is the way how you can track the things, this history of your interaction with the people in LinkedIn. So it's very important to at least see how interactions you have. For example, if I go to our activities, you will see that this is the impression I gain. For Docker conference, I gain these impressions and etc. Why I'm telling that? This is the way how you can write some post and validate it based on the results, how good it is. So for example, I intentionally share this information in Bulgarian. So as you can see and don't understand this context is Bulgarian. I know it's hard to read, but what I'm telling here is that it was absolutely amazing experience to talking about Docker MCP in AI Code Summit. This event happened last month. I talked about AI. And as you can see, I just reached 350 people. And many of you can basically try to think why. And here is the tricky way. First of all, when I posted this thing, it was 9 hours before. It was like, let's say it was 11 or when people are going to lunch. So, few rules about posting. And these rules will help you to reach more people and help you to gain more power in LinkedIn. First of all, never, never, never post after 11 o'clock. Why? People are going back to work, they chatting with the colleagues, they don't care about LinkedIn, they looking for a coffee or some snack, so they don't care about LinkedIn. What I found like a best way for me to put posts is usually one day it's Tuesday, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, specific zone should be for your specific area. Of course, for me, since I'm in Bulgaria, I found that 9 to 10 o'clock AM is working perfectly for me. And that is the way how I post it. And also I schedule posts. I will show you how to do that because usually many people are struggling on that. They're telling me that they spend hours on LinkedIn. And I was like that, to be honest, before. But since I have a lot of activities, I can't do that anymore. So what I'm doing is usually schedule upfront my posts, and later on, the scheduler will post them regularly. Okay, that being said, I want to show you that this post is very, very nice and can gain a lot of, let's say, reach of people. But just because I posted it in a way that it's not specific good time, it is in Bulgarian, it's related to AI Code Summit and blah, blah, blah things. Nowadays, this will be not targeted. As you can see, I don't have any kind of hashtags. So shortly, don't do that. Okay. The beautiful part here is that LinkedIn provides us opportunity to translate your content, which is good. Okay. Okay, this is also some things which I highly advise you to not do, and I will explain why I'm doing that. But for you, like gaining content, it's not a good idea to do it. Absolutely not. So as you can see, I spam a lot about my book. And I put here information about the book itself, what it is, how it is, for what kind of people are, what is containing, and etc. This is the advertise of me. And as you can see that I post a lot of book posts just for the book. And again, really small impressions, but I'm not care about that. What I'm caring is that, first of all, these posts are posted in different groups. So as you can see, I posted in JavaScript developer group. So I don't care how many people will see it. The most information for me is that I share it in different places, so someone will see it, and if he wants, he will share it. And later on, this will create a really massive gain of viewing my profile, and they will see that because LinkedIn is working like that. If you have two posts, one post is bad, another one is good, and they are the similar content, the good one will be visible, the bad one will be not. So what I'm doing is spamming, absolutely spam, never do that. And this will be my idea how I advertise things. For you, if you are not a content creator, don't do that. Usually it's not accepted to good to spam a lot, at least if you don't try to reach more people. Okay. Going down. Okay, this post. This post is gaining 3,000 people impressions and some comments and etc. What you can see here is few things. First of all, the post itself, the headline is very, very short. It's telling people what I'm curious. It's telling that, okay, it's fun because these two captains, very, very nice guys. Also, this guy wrote a book, very famous, and this guy has probably more than 2,000. No, I think, yeah, something like that. More than 2,000 people following him in LinkedIn and YouTube and etc. So he knows what to do. What I'm telling that is just because if you interact with kind of people which have a lot of community and you mention them, like for example, I did that. This is Muhammad and this is Francesco. So people and which follow them will see you and will connect with you. So usually it's a good idea to write good headlines of the post, also to specify the people in the picture, to interact with them, and of course, hashtags. How the hashtags is working is basically telling to the people what to look. Okay, going back. That being said, it's time for my experience. We talk about the experience. I mentioned that you should specify at least your work, where you're working, what you're doing, and etc. Try to be short because this is not so relevant. Specify your certificates and advances and also open source projects. Just because it's important for the people. I will talk a little bit about the recommendations itself in LinkedIn. Many people believe that they are very, very important. No, they're not. Shortly because people should search them pretty much in the bottom of your profile. And since we spoke, they spend 2-3 seconds to your profile, probably. They will not go to see your recommendations. It's not bad to have them. I personally don't want to have recommendations in LinkedIn. Publications are very important. This is the way what you did. Like I here put what I did in Docker because I contribute a lot and create different guidance about front-end applications. And also I'm sharing a lot of blog posts. So for me, it's important. Do you have any courses, languages, and pretty much that it is. Now, that being said, probably you have some questions. So let's start and answer them. Okay.
Yes, we do have a few questions in the chat. And the first is from Hannah, and because she lives in Canada, and
Okay.
she says, does it make sense to include the same text in several languages within one post? For example, in Canada, most provinces have two official languages, English and French.
Yes. My advice to you is that post everything in English. If you want to interact with specific community of people, let's say Bulgarian community in this case, of course, this will be in Bulgarian. Why? Just because people usually, it's better to understand the context in native language. But what I'm doing is posting regularly with English. And this is the way how people interact, communicate, and basically you will be more visible. It's not needed to post in several languages before 7 years, let's say, or before a lot of years, let's say. It was good to share the content in different languages in LinkedIn just because we don't have option to translate. But nowadays you can translate. So no, just English.
Thank you for the answer. Another question we have from Alia. If you don't have much work experience yet, which projects or coursework could you highlight to show your skills?
So open source projects, definitely. Go to GitHub, see what is trending, try to replicate it. It is the best way to try to, first of all, learn something and also people to see that you have passion on it. For example, if you are a React developer nowadays, I highly advise you to go to see how Next.js is working, different technology. If you then don't have any kind of experience with it, try to search for sample example or sample repo, copy it, fork it, try to interact, upgrade it. This way you have, first of all, ability to learn something new, and second, will be visible for people that you are trying to learn Next.js. And put this project, for example, in your LinkedIn later on.
That's great advice. One question comes to my mind. Since we have Frontend Friday challenges, these are bi-weekly challenges where everyone can use any framework. The idea is to practice your front-end skills. Do you think that these projects are a good example for LinkedIn?
Absolutely. Absolutely. At least for my experience, what I love to do is to create a pet project. Pet project is sample project which you're doing by yourself, for yourself, and you don't want to gain money of it. Of course, if you can, perfect, but the idea is to learn. So do a lot of content, not only in LinkedIn, but usually in GitHub, because this will be second place we are searching after we reviewing your interview. Think of LinkedIn like the front door. So you knock at it, if your profile is standing, is good, someone will invite you, but this is not enough. Second step is a good GitHub profile. We have time. Let me share some advice about GitHub. So, GitHub. This is my GitHub, different picture, just because this is the picture people know me in GitHub and I don't care about presenting myself in it. Here, the interaction is different. People don't care about your picture, but they care about what you did. So again, specify who you are in headline. This is very important. Also, if you don't know, you can create a README file. And in this README, you can specify information about you, which is very, very important because many people, if they don't have a README, directly will be redirected to the repositories, which is not telling anything for you. So create a README file, update it. Also, good advice will be to find a good profile, or if you want mine, copy what I did, replace with your information, and this will be good. Why? Just because I interact with many HR and recruiters, because we are searching many people and I ask advice for them to improve my profiles and visibility. So half of work which I'm doing in LinkedIn is done by some recruiters and they know what to do. So just go copy, try to replace with your information, and also better follow this rule. I saw many people without many experience. They put everything. They put some content, but this content is not relevant at all. So don't do this mistake. Just put what is relevant. Try to be honest, and if people like you, they will invite you in interview. If you put everything, like I love to cook, I love to watch TV, watch movies, who cares about that? We care when we invite you in interview, but before inviting in interview, probably will be not needed. Specify information. Here is a very good place to specify where people can find you, your contributions, some projects which you're proud, and etc. Think of GitHub like LinkedIn for programmers. This is space where people interact with your code. They will go, they will see your repositories, and etc. So, yeah, do this often. I highly advise people to contribute to community and open source projects just because you gain popularity, and this is opening your doors to many people, and you can learn really fast. So if you search for projects, there are plenty of open source projects. Go, try to contribute. Can be little simple thing, but in the end, to be a contributor, for example, in React Docs or Docker Docs or somewhere, which is really high, huge organizations, it's making you proud of yourself and also telling the people that you just try to improve something and you are curious to learn. And this will be visible in our social networks. Yes?
Thank you. That was a great example for GitHub profile. And we have maybe our final question. When searching for jobs or opportunities, how do you currently use LinkedIn? Are there features you're underutilizing?
Very good question. Thank you for it. So LinkedIn, again, is platform for job itself. We interact with people. My two main goals, if I can spot them like that, is first of all to interact with my community, to follow my blog posts, to read my blog posts, to buy my books, to try to be supportive to the community, which I'm growing and try to understand and support. The second goal is to be visible for work and to be easy for you to find a job. First thing, after we are done with our profile, we put everything what we want today. Second thing is how to interact with companies. Usually, I will give you some hints. What you can do is just click jobs. In jobs, you see that some information relevant to you, and you can go and apply easily. Here is the place. Also, what I love to do, because for me it's already easy, just because I have a lot of people connected to me, random job, doesn't matter. What I love to do is to see how many people I have directly in my connections. And when you grow a big group of connections, it's very easy for you to contact them and ask them for advice. For example, okay, tell me more about the company, or I can interact directly with the HR, or for example, here, Jenny, for example, I can contact it directly and ask some questions. And this will open me a door to interact with her immediately without wasting any time, without applying, about going to personally interview, spending hours of driving, just because they want not front-end developer or DevOps, but they want Java developer. Yeah. So when we have connections, it's very, very easy. And as you can see, in most positions, of course, this is Bulgarian related positions, but I will have someone to contact. And usually, back then, for me, it was really hard to find a job. And this was not opportunity like that, because when you have a small group of people, what is happening is usually will not have a connections. But for example, for this specific company, I can contact directly the CEO of the company, and this will open me doors. I know him, he's very good and nice guy, follow him, sharing a lot of context, one of the greatest Bulgarian blog posts and also LinkedIn spammer. But of course, if you don't have connections, what you highly advise you to search the HR of the company. And how we search the HR of the company, you just type Google HR. Perfect. What we have here is marketing HR consultant. We're searching for someone who will help us to find more resources, right? So, okay. I'm not interested about marketing. This will probably work. Global HR professional at Google. I can follow her. I can see the profile, and I can connect with her. And since we have some connections, we can basically interact with it and also ask some questions. Nowadays, for me, to be honest, it's not hard because people usually interact with me. HRs are searching me and find me and ask me for opportunities. But when I start my career in IT and I don't have any experience, I was part-timer. So it was really hard. So what you can do is improve your profile first and later on start to search to contact with correct people. Like already I try to contact with someone in Google. I don't want to work with Google now, but who knows in future. So think of the connections like investment in the future. You don't know who you can help and also who can see your profile. And this is very beautiful example. For example, if Violina didn't see that my profile is good and I was a speaker, I was not speaking today here. So LinkedIn, connect the connections, it's investment in the future, try to improve it, try to be as much as possible good in the community. And probably that will be for the session. If you don't connect me with LinkedIn, please do so. My name is Kristiyan Velkov. I will stop sharing right now.
Thank you so much, Kristiyan. Great advices. And definitely LinkedIn is the fastest way to build connection and to find new opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we all enjoyed the session, and thank you so much for sharing your expertise. And we are waiting you for another session on another topic. And don't forget to buy Kristiyan book. Actually, I'm reading his TypeScript core utility types, which is very interesting. And I'm sure that React interview questions is also a very valuable book.
Thank you, Violina. It was really nice experience. I love the community. I love to support. So if you find any topic which I can help, I'm here.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone who joined today.